for our third quarterfinal match. Let's get the game underway.
Well, it's been a long time since you may have heard the names Gyro, Aqua, and Knight, but they are back. It's time to get things underway against a team that is surging Corelli Complexity Gaming, definitely the heavy favorites here.
Definitely coming off their second place finish from the previous regional in the Winter Open. Complexity are a formidable opponent, and certainly one that I think a lot of pickers out there, fans, have them getting to the next round. COL, though, something to note as well. I just noticed this. When they played Gen G, they actually scored more goals than G2 did last regional when G2 played them. They scored one more goal. It's been pretty close. Gen G's kind of been the bar for a lot of teams, and COL have played a lot of teams close, but just haven't had fate fall into their hands. This is their time for them to break out and an opportunity to make a big statement against a team like Complexity.
Well, they've definitely got the early pressure to make something happen, but at long last, Complexity breaks the early press, gets themselves some breathing room, and Gyro right back into the mix, straight on target, and Knight just keeping the pressure on them to see if anything will stick as they get a little bit scared of what RazeBull's capable of, and they all decide to retreat into the back corner, collect some boost. COL, we may get to see that defense on display here.
We've seen plenty of defense from COL, and certainly the desk wasn't too high on them, but hold on. How about the double tap from Gyro to kick things off for COL?
Nope, no defense, just air dribble off the backboard, 2 touches, and Gyro says, hang on, we're not done. They're totally thinking that shot's going top left corner. Got all the way to the outside of the ball, kicked it back post. Great shot from Gyro. Kick things off. You can't say that's not what you're looking for if you're COL. You talk so much about their defense. You're surprised to see him come out here and put up such a strong offensive presence early on against a team like Complexity.
Well, I was about to say cheese before they scored, of course, and now it's going to make me look like I'm just going off of that. But it's not like they're getting crushed in all of their games. Yes, they've had some bad games. Yes, they've had some bad series. But COL have been competitive in a lot of their series, and they have been competitive in a lot of their series in the last couple of regionals. They're just not winning. But they're playing these teams very, very closely. Even the top echelon of NA teams, they've been competitive with. They just haven't come out on top. And I think, a double tap like that from Gyro is exactly what we've seen from them. They just need to close out games, close out series.
RazeBull and CRR both give a little ground to a potential clear from Aqua, and the missed touch could make things get a little congested here in the Complexity box if they don't find a clear soon. Gyro continuing that press, and everyone on COL needing a little bit of boost. Aqua's just buying some time here before they allow the punt. Gyro, clean flip reset, looking for Aqua, but straight into 2 waiting Complexity defenders. Complexity definitely not giving up too much. Certainly doesn't feel like there's a particularly heavy boost favorite, and no one's really getting caught out anywhere. This is kind of just the poke and prod battle.
Yeah, a very conservative approach here from Complexity. Certainly a trap game for them, one that they are heavily favored in, one they know they should win, but one they still have to play. And they find themselves down 1 goal. They're going to have to press a little bit harder, and AJG does just that. CRR off the backboard, and RazeBull smart enough to know he's not going to get there first. Does take the challenge, and a second touch shot down from AJG goes wide.
Good mental picture of the pitch, as that's a great cross all the way to AJG. Complexity with good vision, move it left to right a couple of times in a row, and finally COL can't follow it.
Didn't see too much offense from Complexity early on, but they found their stride here in this offensive press. You could see they went left to right, right to left, moved across the box, forced defenders to come after them on the COL side, and that opened up the space. When you manipulate the defense like that, good things happen.
And the bump as well, continuing to bring a little physicality. Knight could be in a bad spot here. I think he actually got a big bite out of the Complexity attacker, though, and threw off that line. So kickoff will not bear fruit for Complexity. Do seem to be settling in quite nicely now as game 1 has continued. Now you really get to see if COL just may have came out and surprised him with a little bit of pace, but now it's all about, okay, now you got to hang with Complexity, who's really found their own stride as the 23 season has gone on.
Well, and they found their stride here in this game as well. You're seeing Complexity really shut down the midfield. Not a lot of pace coming out from COI when they get on the ball, and a lot of clears just going straight back into the hands of Complexity. Here's an opportunity. Gyro once again getting the demo on HAG and a touch back towards the middle of the box. I don't think anyone was really expecting the fanfare from Gyro to come out, and he did his best to give his team an opportunity. It was just so unpredictable.
So good. His own team didn't even believe it was possible. And it was a good setup. If they would have been ready for it, they were probably scoring, but not to be. And Complexity, thanking their lucky stars, Gyro just didn't put a clip on him as he rips one top right. That one's just off the post. Here comes Knight to try and get a little extra help. That one's still staying in the middle. Aqua also wins the next challenge. AJG all alone on the backboard, and that will get pinched out to the safety of the corner. Boy, I think going to have to give a little bit of ground here.
Boy, Gyro looks like he wants it today, right? He's looking clean on the ball. The mechs are there. He's threatening every single time he advances towards net. Boy, he looks good. And it's funny, in my notes, I was going to talk a lot about Aqua and what he brings to this team. But in this game, we have to talk about the context. It's been a lot of Gyro on offense.
Yeah, he's moving the ball well. I agree with you. But Complexity looking to have the last say here in regulation. AJG hard across the middle and unfortunately out of reach of the teammate. Overtime in game one. Now you see, you were talking about it, Corelli. They play competitive against even the top echelon. Complexity's no small feat. Make grand finals. They give Gen G run for their money. They're no joke.
And I will say, and this isn't to downplay how good KOI's playing right now. I don't know if Complexity is necessarily playing up to their pace. As this one turns back around, look at the slot from CRR. Gyro does make the save, but it seems like a slower start for Complexity despite some of the control we've seen. Definitely not the same caliber that we saw later on in the bracket in the previous Winter Open.
Yeah, you really do feel like while this game has gone pretty even, it does seem like there's a little bit of a disconnect somewhere, or at least a little lack of understanding. One team, Knight air dribble bump save. Raise Bull comes and bails out his teammate, recognizing the danger. Complexity escape, if only narrowly.
Yeah, that's a scary chance for KOI. Air dribble bump so strong, especially with that time and space that Knight was given. Now the flip reset from Knight. He's trying to take a chunk out of this Complexity defense.
Oh, he got demoed.
It's not just Gyro that presents a problem. Here's the pass. Gyro thoughts it through off the post, and KOI take game one.
Man, what a press from Aqua here in the corner. CRR just can't get around the ball or cause any interference, so he tries to rotate back to net, but Gyro booms one left side, gets it around off the bar and in. KOI picking up a little bit of dust here in the start. Everyone kind of blinking and coughing a little bit, trying to clear the air. I don't think anyone really knows what happened or was expecting that.
Achieves, what is going on here? The desk thought it was going to be a blowout. The chat was all up on Complexity's side, and I don't blame them. But like we've been alluding to, you can't count out KOI. It's not as bad as it seems, and you got to hand it to Gyro. He looked phenomenal here for KOI in game one. The question is really, is he going to keep it up throughout the series? Because they're going to need him playing like this for the rest of the series here. As you can see his face there, super excited, and he's got to be happy with the way this one's gone so far.
Yeah, you definitely can't be sad about how that one played out if you're Gyro. Excellent game number one. Like you said, great movement around the pitch, excellent control of the ball, had the pretty good support for his teammates. Again, it's not like they were struggling for boost and not on the same page on offense. There was one time where Gyro absolutely dismantled the entire defense, and unfortunately by extension his own team. But in general, KOI has the idea. You know, that's really the prereq to be a successful offense at the top level. Everyone needs to be on the same page when you're going on offense, and he's definitely got that down, it would seem, at least in that first game.
And it's interesting. I mean, you're really seeing Gyro push as that point man downfield. And not that that isn't expected, but I think it just wasn't expecting all the success, and now this is not a success for KOI as the clear rolls right into the lap of Complexity.
Yeah, they go up, try and get aggressive and fight for the ball, but unfortunately Gyro, he may have been expecting that ball to stay stuck to the wall. It kind of took a little bit of hop off of it, and so that ended up hitting a little bit lower on his car than he thought. So he ends up driving it down to the floor instead of up the pitch, and KOI just giving up that first goal there. Tough read.
So it could have been a comms thing. It could have been a comms thing too. Aqua was also going for that ball. That's why the double commit opened up the space there for Complexity to easy tap. But yeah, not what you want from KOI, and now Complexity. You can't give them leads like this. Is CRR trying to poke it through. Complexity trying to pilot their 1-goal lead.
Ooh, nice cut down from Gyro in the midfield. Will force Complexity to reassess how they want to go for possession. Aqua's been diving at a couple of challenges, hasn't connected yet. And I'm not going to say that's good or bad just yet. You kind of really need to see if it results in some bad positions for his teammates, because initially I like teams willing to go up there and fight for the ball. They do just survive another push here from Complexity. Now you start to worry, okay, COI definitely came out there swinging in game one, but really have yet to get their feet set here in the second go-around.
Yeah, not much happening for him here. Aqua trying to come online offensively. He's been great in the midfield and defensively so far for COI. And he has been the secret weapon at times for COI, especially ever since he joined this roster last year. Him and Gyro have made a great duo offensively. But you're seeing a lot of Gyro right now, kind of Knight filling in the gaps. Nobody's necessarily playing poor here for COI, but just not as aggressive, doesn't have that same sting that they had in game one.
Yep. Far from out of it yet, though. 3 minutes. Gyro up early, but he doesn't make contact. AJG will make him pay.
And there's the sting from Complexity. CRR with a setup touch, wonderfully placed to let AJG go up and do what he does best, a double tap down. And a comfortable 2-0 lead here for Complexity.
And now you start to ask those questions. All right, you know you've got it in you, but now you got to bring it out when you have to score. This is when I think offense is the most difficult. Down to plenty of time left on the clock, but you know you have to press and you know you have to execute, and the other team knows you're coming at them. This is when it's generally, to me, the hardest to find success. CRR really slow playing one, and it ties them all in knots.
Great play from CRR, but it was Razebull who comes through, takes out Aqua. The net opens up just a bit. Touch is not coming through for COI. CRR gets a third here for Complexity.
Just barely missing that clear two. Could have escaped. 3 always does tend to be that magic number. Gyro trying to get one back, put him back in the same position. CRR up early, sensing a COI offense right behind him. Got up early to take away an easy put down. Razebull tonight. Knight looking for help, but he doesn't really square the ball up. Now he has to make a save, and Aqua gonna have to wait a little bit for boost. Here's where you start to wonder, okay, the boost may be slightly moving over towards Complexity's end. That offense starting to not have any support behind it, really, and it's starting to feel like, okay, we got to dump it down and just chase it and see if we can hold on to it.
Looking at the COI scoreline right now, you got 2 players under 100 points here. You have Knight with 3 saves. He's got 223 points. It just feels like nothing's happening for COI, right? They're just not getting any quality possession. A lot of the touches, maybe not the most intention behind it. And I think Complexity have really started to clamp down here. You're seeing these passes come across the box, opportunities there. COI have really got to get squared away here, find each other downfield, set something up. As not get picked by Razebull. Razebull, here comes again the pass across, and he's there perfectly. CRR, 4-0 Complexity.
See, you like that aggression from Gyro, but you like to see even more Razebull's understanding of the space of that challenge. Yeah, you know Gyro's coming at you hard, but you can also see that he's coming at you from too far away. So Razebull just hesitates a little bit, lets Gyro go right on by. Made that challenge look like not the best decision-making. And Complexity cruising now in game 2 through to game 3. Really just trying to stop the bleeding at this point. If you're COI, don't even necessarily want to... like, scoring will feel good, but feels a little empty, I think, when you're a team like COI. And you came out there, game 1, you played a tight one, it was good, you ended up winning, you feel good, but then you go out in game 2 and you think, okay, let's do the same thing again, let's go, and you get kind of smacked down. You know, a late goal only does so much to kind of patch the ego there.
Right, it's more than just that, right? I mean, you have to look at the changes Complexity have made as well. They have converted on a lot more of their chances, and they've done it in a variety of ways. Physical gameplay coming out, great passing plays through the midfield, quality solo plays as well. Things really started to click here for Complexity, and COI need to find an answer.
And again, you just see a little hint of that lack of synergy from COI, not quite understanding how the ball's going to be moving, and it just barely delays them reacting to the play. Complexity adjusting ever so slightly faster. CRR looking to get a little bit physical here in the final 10 seconds. The boost deal's coming out. That should definitely close out game 2. CRR saying, come take it if you want. We don't mind either way. This was our game, and we're here to show you that we're not just going to sit here and be like, oh no, Koi's winning. What do we do? They had the answers there.
And I think for complexity, when we were talking about them in the post game of game 1, I said, I'm not really sure if that was, peak complexity, or not even peak complexity, but just even the normalcy that we would expect from complexity.
Is that peak complexity, or does it go
No,
more?
this wasn't peak complexity either, but it was the highest, a very high quality complexity. This was good, great complexity. They looked just fine here. Everything was working. And that's kind of, I think, the bar, the standard for complexity in these games, especially when you're going up against, again, an opponent that they should be winning against and beating. Putting up 13 shots there is pretty good. Now, I will say, shots were generated here for Koi. It wasn't like Koi was completely backed up. But again, when you look at Gyro, who had a great game in game 1, only putting up 126 points here, there is a correlation to how well you're playing to how many points you're getting. And that's not a good one for Gyro and for Aqua for Koi.
Not favorable with you there, but I think what you said was absolutely right. That's definitely not how high complexity goes. I'm with you. That I think was the right way to put it. That's the bar. That's where you're expecting complexity to be at consistently. And if you're expecting complexity consistently go out there and 4-0, at least a team like Koi kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit if you're Aqua, Gyro, and Knight here, because you're like, okay, that's pretty much what we're up against for the rest of the series, and they're going to get more of it. Gyro tries to chop it down from the backboard, but can't quite get it done.
I was on Gyro's cam here, and he's looking at CRR the whole time, and then and AJ comes out from behind. Great shot from AJG to keep it low and away. When you see that guy on the backboard, you got to put it low. It's tough for them to get down quick, and Aqua wasn't back in time. And complexity come out and get a sucker punch here.
Another tough early pill to swallow. Aqua almost. Gyro should finish this. Okay, it just takes one good challenge. Forget about the opener. Back to 0-0, all things considered, and feel okay now.
And more points for Gyro right now than he did in the previous game. One shot, one goal. His teammates opening up the opportunity for him, and it's good because they capitalized on their first opportunity, and that was not the case in the previous game.
You have to wonder if Koi's thinking, you know what, we just have to have a little more faith that we're going to get some type of touch on the ball or not, because there were a few instances where they just didn't seem like they understood exactly where the ball was headed off of a challenge between these two teams, and feel like maybe Gyro kind of just going and trying to support that hard press from Aqua is just like, you know what, let's just assume we're going to get some type of touch and we're going to try and be there rather than assume that I don't know if we get there.
I think it also just kind of, that touch from Aqua caught out the complexity defenses. You saw the first man kind of backflipping, didn't really expect it that quickly. And now you're seeing Koi press a little bit more. That was a great challenge by the defense of complexity to deny the second touches or cleaning up any pinches there. As CRR also denied by Knight. AJG so far back here. And now he passes it over to CRR, but a big clear from Koi. They're trying to navigate through this midfield with possession. It's been very tough for them, even through the game that they won in game number 1. They haven't been able to hold on to possession quite as much as they'd like in that midsection of the field, but a great dunk from Gyro might open things up. He's trying to force it. Raise pull. Very patiently step behind it. Here's Aqua. Slots it off the post. Both posts hit, and it won't drop for Aqua.
It was the right idea on where to place that ball, though. Just overcooked it. That one hurts. It's definitely the opportunity. Gyro got the key block and froze the defender on the goal line. That was everything you could have asked for if you're Koi, but sometimes it just can't get it done. Not the way to have it go. But you still got plenty of time. You know you can at least generate chances now. It's possible. Oh, no. Shot straight at him and can't keep it out.
And I think for Knight here, this is a tough one because the angle is so good. Yeah. And it comes so low, and I guess, I don't know, he just reacted too slow. A double jump even might have done him better there, but he just couldn't react in time. By the time he jumped, the ball was halfway across
over him,
his body.
I think he thought it was so unlikely that you're actually going to get a shot on target that he started to turn out because he thought it was going to be passed off the wall. And as soon as he realized that he just cut out, no one cares because Aqua has gone right back down to the other end of the pitch and tied things up.
And this is exactly what you were talking about, Achieves. Despite giving up goals, you could be happy with this game so far from Koi because they're generating chances. They're letting guys like Aqua on the ball. Gyro's there to clean up some of these touches that are coming out as well. And for Koi, this is a good look from them. It's going to be kind of a scrappy series if they're going to take down Complexity. They're going to give up goals. You got to go and dance right along with them. And they are here in game 3.
Koi trying to regain a little bit of footing after losing the kickoff, and that pinch may have just done it. Actually, a very favorable roll from RaiseBull, or for RaiseBull off that top corner, I should say. If it had bounced, could have been a lot more awkward to try and get a handle on. Knight for Aqua, but actually got through. I think Aqua thought RaiseBull had that one, decided to go steal some boost. Gyro solo attempt and kicked away by the Complexity defense.
Yeah, Aqua didn't have boost on the pass, but he drops it down for Knight, and Koi take the lead.
Thought for sure that AJG or RaiseBull was going to be able to get back here and maybe even CRR. Oh, I guess he did get a touch.
Yeah.
Knight just went straight through him, and it thankfully didn't go off the bar and out, just stayed right in there.
And this is more in line with what I expected from Koi. Is you're seeing Aqua on the ball off the side while generate chances, generate half chances, put a ball across the box for someone to follow up on. Just create that chaos that he can create on a defensive side. And it's certainly paying off here. Now Complexity having to ramp up a bit, finding themselves down a goal. Hold on, tied it up by RaiseBull.
RaiseBull just fires a laser straight in between two defenders. They get stuck in the back of the net and on the backboard. Talk about a perfectly timed power shot. And placement all the way to the right side. That's not an easy goal to score. Yeah, he scored it, but like, go try and score that one against two top-level defenders and tell me how often you actually get it by them.
It's important to put that one away. They needed that one. The momentum was starting to shift towards Koi, and it might still be shifting. Koi dancing on the Complexity side. Aqua looking for 2. He was there. AJG cuts it away. The shot high. And Koi trying to lock in Complexity.
Not a lot of boost here for RaiseBull. Has to give a little ground to Knight, but he will still maintain possession as Koi just kind of throw the ball into the ceiling and can't quite control it. Knight has Aqua in support. RaiseBull to delay. AJG unable to connect. CRR has to buy some time here. Closing out for RaiseBull. Complexity really just seeing if anyone's going to commit the demo. Indeed, 4-3. Koi stay in the lead.
I was about to say, there's a lot of boom ball happening here. Players just hitting it left to right in the midfield. And the demo, they saw their opportunity. You know that was called out from Gyro that he was chasing. Knight knew he could put it on target. And the demo came through perfectly, striking true for Gyro. And back into the lead, Koi go.
Complexity now the ones being forced to answer some difficult questions here with 20 seconds left. And Knight trying to waste all the time off the clock that he can. RaiseBull and AJG trying to sort out who needs to go for the ball. CRR, that's a great idea to trap it. Aqua now getting physical. RaiseBull, again the demo from Gyro. CRR is forced to just smash that off the wall. This will make them go out of their own half for the final possession. I like that idea from RaiseBull. Let the ball travel. He actually gets through everyone. CRR is stretching.
Oh my gosh.
Side. He's done it. All from the great transition here.
Koi got caught. You can see 2 go. And with the flip reset control from CRR to then catch back up to the ball, Complexity tie it up with 0 seconds.
Oh, man. That's why it's important to know where the attackers are. RaiseBull just lets that one bounce over his shoulder instead of rushing the touch. Gets a perfect lead out to his teammate as AJG able to make a stop at the start of overtime. Gyro comes up empty. CRR now applying pressure, looking to get physical with Knight in the box. Aqua's just trying to hold on to the ball, and Complexity may have a decent push here, but here's they've given a little bit of ground and opted to play some more conservative defense.
Oh, what a block from CRR. And he's been chasing demos as well. This one dangerous off the backboard. Gonna be a weak shot from CRR and a great touch from Aqua to prevent AJG to keep going. If you're Koi, you're a little disappointed sitting in overtime right now. You don't want to let this one slip away. It's been that close against a powerhouse team here in North America. You have an opportunity to take a series lead here.
Okay. I like Complexity trying to let some of these balls travel a little bit further than perhaps you would normally expect. Nice floater into the middle. AJG off the ceiling to himself. Cannot get through Gyro. Knight forced to dribble it out and is met by Razebull. CRR, not the greatest contact on the ball. So it will be transition for Koi. Aqua off the ceiling. Razebull up well and early to meet him.
CRR getting tangled up there by his own team. He was trying to stay up with the play, running into people with no boost. Now Knight doesn't get a touch, but CRR side flips out of the way. And we keep going.
Delaying touch from Knight. AJG deciding now's the moment to go and press the attack a little bit. Knight gets the ball taken away. CRR steals some boost. Gotta be careful now if you're Koi. Aqua backflips. CRR tries to punish. Aqua's all over it. Razebull following tightly behind. I think Koi collected their own corner boost there, so Complexity finally having to yield, and now you're getting to see a little bit of that Koi defense.
Yeah, backflip from Aqua almost cost him, but a great recovery to get back to it and play that one out. But you feel like Complexity are really clamping down.
Yeah.
They're spending a lot of time here on the Koi side, and Aqua again struggling here defensively. Not the touch Koi would have wanted. Razebull didn't have any options and slams it off the sidewall. And another clear straight back into Complexity's hands at the midfield line.
Complexity had a couple of good boost steals there as well. I give credit where it's due. Koi doing a great job having to spread themselves thin and make the defense work on limited resources. They have at least equalized position where they can go and fight for the ball in the middle of the pitch. CRR gonna do his best to influence that thought process. Aqua out to the right. Gyro just trying to extend the play to take it away from CRR, but Koi ends up giving the ball completely away. Razebull not able to execute on the fake, and everything gonna reset once more.
Koi trying to push up their line. That's a great dunk by Aqua. That's what you want. When you've been playing so much defense, you've got to push up the field. You've got to spread out. You got to push Complexity back to their line. What a touch from Razebull to get out. And he's going to get all the way to the Koi side. Here comes CRR. He goes through. Aqua's got to be careful, and he navigates that one over his crossbar and out.
Ooh, dished out to AJG, shot wide. CRR leaving it for Razebull. Actually slips that one by Knight. He may get the bump here as well. Down to AJG, and that is great. A press from Complexity in the corner. They'll take the 2-1 lead.
I had completely forgotten this was a 4-4 game. 9 goals scored here. The 9th one, a dish from Razebull. And finally, Complexity, they've been setting up that shot multiple times. They beat the first man. They get by Aqua and AJG right in front of it to tap it home.
So Koi are going to take a timeout here after losing 2 straight, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad call. Yes, it's a much better game from Koi, like you said, bit of a shootout, 9 goals, but look at the shot discrepancy. That's, 18 shots for Complexity, and 13 for Koi. So Koi definitely going out there and giving it their best, but you're allowing nearly 20 shots. Can't have that.
You don't want that. Can't have it. And despite that, though, Achieves, I mean, Koi played a very, very tight game. I mean, this has not been bad from Koi, right? I mean, when you hear the desk, when you hear the stat of them not qualifying or not winning a series for like a year or whatever it is, you feel like they're just going to come out and get crushed. But, you know, I'm glad we said it. It has not been the case here against Complexity. This has been a decent series from Koi. It's a shame that this one slips away. Remember, this was a 0-second goal that CRR scored to allow Complexity to get into the overtime. So Koi were winning, and I think if I'm on Koi, I'm a little frustrated with this one getting away from us because the result should be flipped at the moment.
Yep, that's a tough one to allow for sure. You have to give credit to where it's due. Excellent execution on the 0-second play from CRR. He was definitely dropping boost, had to really go chase that one down and still placed it into the far post. But you're not kidding. I mean, Koi, they went out there and got a lot more aggressive. early on, and there's that air dribble CRR.
Yeah. Wow.
Really stretching that one maximum distance. And then finally, Koi just couldn't get a handle on a ball out of the corner. And elation.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, this is a tough series for Complexity. I mean, this was not, I'm sure this isn't what they expected. It's certainly not what we expected. Koi is putting up a fight. This is not a free win. This is not an easy win for Complexity. And you could see that coming out in the emotion there at the end of that game, because it means a lot to have a 0-second goal send you to overtime and then come out on top when 9 goals are scored.
Big shootout in game 3. Complexity would love to really put the pressure on Koi right here. Put him on match point. Kind of wondering what Complexity thinks about that last game, right? Because, you know, if you're Koi, obviously you take the timeout, you try and let a little bit of that frustration abate after losing at 0 seconds and then giving up the game winner in overtime, thinking, man, we could be up 2-1, and you kind of just need to take a second. Because you definitely can't say that, okay, that's 2 games in a row where we got smashed, right? Because game 2, yeah, they got smashed. But game 3, they got more aggressive. They kept it tight. And I'm not sure if there's really too much discussion about strategy for Koi there, so much as it is, okay, let's take a moment. But if you're Complexity, I'm kind of thinking, you know, you've seen so many different things from Koi of, well, sometimes they give up the corner boost, or they just kind of get stuck in their own half and they can't follow the ball left to right very well in that situation. But other times you see them making huge diving key blocks right in front of their net. You're thinking, man, they're just willing to dive at stuff.
Yeah, I think the only thing, if I was on the Koi side, I'd just say, hey, try and keep the ball a little bit more. We're just tossing it away to the hands of Complexity in the midfield. Even if you have no boost, you can bring it down. Just blasting it away to Complexity for them to set up. You can see they have the skill to pick you apart. Aqua, in and out save, will keep the scoreline clean.
Great double tap from Gyro to at least reset the field position of Complexity. Knight as well delaying the counterattack. And there's Gyro again, trying to get up in that Complexity area to prevent them setting up counterattack however they like. Fortunately, Koi just not quite getting enough of the pieces of the challenges to really force Complexity to touch the ball in a way that they can't try and go for a second follow-up. And that's really why Rocket League to me is it's the game of inches. CRR! Game of inches indeed. The defense comes up empty and CRR says, well, this is what happens.
Game of timing as well. Gyro just came off the respawn there on his right side corner and just couldn't react in time. He only, gets his 30 boost. And CRR was above him. And an easy dunk down for CRR, and Complexity once again taking the first goal.
And not looking to slow up. Nice air dribble from Razebull, forcing Knight to awkwardly approach that challenge. Aqua caught on the sidewall. Bit of a strange structure here from Koi, not a particularly wide spread of the pitch, so Gyro just trying to air dribble and buy time to see if they can find a little bit of space to work with. AJG gets turned to dust. Knight delaying that counterattack. Excellent read from Gyro to prevent a potentially dangerous counterattack. The 3-on-2 with the respawn coming in. Who knows where that can go. So the last thing you want to do is be spawning into the corner and surprise touch the ball away from your teammates, or even worse, spawn under them or have them bump into you.
I really like seeing that air dribble from Gyro from the top of his box or just behind the halfway point, because it just, you stay behind the ball, you take the challenge head on when you get challenged, and you're not just giving it up for free, right? You're not just blasting it high into the air, and obviously it takes boost. Here's a good bump.
What?
Oh my, Knight just squeaks all the way through. He's got a man in front to knock away defenders, and Koi tie it up.
Okay, so CRR, he got bumped on the goal line. I was kind of wondering how he didn't get back to that one. He was landing with 0 boost. He got pushed all the way to the near post. So you could see him trying to get back to it, just had no boost to propel himself forward, and that's why it looks like such bad defense, but in reality, really wasn't too much he could do about it. Koi's in the house. Find an equalizer. And just like that, very similar to the previous game, everything that you think Complexity's doing well to prevent Koi from finding an open, bam, smash mouth right through the front gate.
Well, and it really doesn't matter how good you're playing. The physical game, it's always the trump card is what it feels like in Rocket League when you bump players out of their way, when you push them into spots they didn't, predict to be towards. A lot of times it looks like that, right? The defense looks really poor, as you were talking about, but in reality, it was just quality physical play coming out from Koi, and now RLCS does get the touch, almost got another shot through, and Koi happy to see this one cleared out.
RLCS, I think would like a second attempt at that one. I think he had a couple of different ways in his head about how to score that one, just missed out on both of them. And Koi are glad to see this one stay 1-1 as we approach the final minute. Again, Complexity's playing well. Koi is making them work. Koi is playing well. At least when they have the options available to them. CRR pinched straight towards the net. It's just off the backboard. Aqua happy enough to realize he doesn't have to do anything. There's another bump for Koi. Gyro straight towards the backboard, keeps it in the mix, and AJG on the respawn.
Again, really like that from Gyro, attacking the net, forcing defenders to go up after it, but then keeping himself positioned behind the ball to keep it on the Complexity side. Give his teammates a chance to clean up the garbage ball that might pop out there. It didn't, but for Koi, great attacks from Gyro.
Ooh, CRR. Big miss there. Lets Koi out of the net. Now Aqua's just seeing if he can keep this one out on the blue side. Gyro rotating in to help Knight. As Aqua rotated back to get boost, they will throw RLCS up the ceiling, but he's still going to try and make a play on the ball. AJG actually realizing he needs to go and get this one. Gyro gets all the way around the backside, takes the lead with 12 seconds.
And Gyro kind of telegraphed where he was going, but he pulled it back so far with no boost. Look at this shot. CRR knew it right at the last second. He tried to flip backwards to stop his momentum, but it was too late. Gyro with 0 boost. Perfect placement to get by AJG and CRR.
They found CRR in the net again with 0 boost. And Complexity now needing another 0-second equalizer. Pass to Aqua. It's got to be done in the air now. The little bump. AJG, that'll do it. Game 4 going to go Koi's way. And we're at this point, I wouldn't be surprised to go 7.
No, we're trading blows here. And another kind of last-second goal coming out in our games. We had a 0-second from Complexity. Now Koi surging at the right moment to respond back. They get their game back, the one that might have slipped away from them, and we're tied up in the series.
Looking at some statistics for Koi so far. Pretty much all of Koi's offense has come through contributions from Aqua. He's got an 88.46% goal participation rate, and he's getting it done. That makes him first in NA in the entire split and first in NA in the season, granted. You have to wonder how much that really counts considering their record, right? But at the same time, you realize all that production coming from one player, and then you add in, okay, we're here, and now it looks like Gyro's the one out here driving pace of play. It's like, well, maybe Koi just needed a little bit more support from anybody else on the team, and things start going their way.
Pieces are there. Pieces are there for Koi, but I want to switch the focus to Complexity here because I feel like this was a game where you saw a lot more attack coming out from Koi, and I don't think you saw the right changes from Complexity. I didn't think that Complexity did a good job of staying composed defensively when Koi was attacking. It felt like they actually started to panic a lot more, kind of like what you've been seeing from Koi in a lot of the Complexity attacks. Complexity started to take on that form, and that's not what you want. Koi are certainly capable. They have 3 great players. You give them opportunities, and when they mix in that physical game, it's going to be scary for a defense.
CRR, dish to the middle. Gyro again, all over it. Cuts that one down. Aqua trying to see if he can just split the defense. He'll go and steal some boost in the Complexity half as his teammates try and look for openings. Gyro, again, really hard press, but now that feels like an almost overcommit from Koi. It leaves Aqua on an island here, and he does a marvelous job. Oh, my days.
And RLCS, his touch almost getting away, but CRR pokes the 3, and off the great clear from Aqua somehow. Complexity turned this one back around. What happened to the Koi defense?
So Aqua got that beautiful double tap out of the corner, right? And I looked where the other 2 players went. They went back up the pitch to go get more boost on the Complexity side.
And that's aggressive. I mean, that's aggressive from Koi. You got to clear your line first. And now the flip reset's coming through from CRR. AJG hunting for bumps. RLCS looking for his own space here. 41 boost on this attack. and using all of it. CRR will dive in as well. Koi wants to press hard, but they still don't have possession. You can see players moving up the field to try and receive a pass, but they're not even holding onto the ball at the moment. As Knight gets another touch just to keep it awkward here for Complexity.
Big dunk from Aqua. Unfortunately, the support there for Complexity. We're going to have to look for opportunities elsewhere. Complexity really patient here in the midfield. Not really going and meeting Koi a lot of the times. Kind of feels like they're saying, bring us the ball. It's almost like they don't think that Koi quite has the execution to really move the ball past them if they wait for it.
And it's something scary for Koi too. You talk about execution, but the speed at which they want to push downfield, it's actually too fast, because what's happening now is Complexity is getting beaten to transition, and Koi don't necessarily have perfect control of the play. And players rotating back from Complexity see all of Koi in front of them, and they're trying to get demos on. They haven't got it quite yet, but they're chasing players back on the transition. And without the possession from Koi, it's not that threatening. And you might open up the backfield of Koi's side if you get a demo there and possession.
They may not even need it as they just start throwing shots towards the net. If you're Koi, like you said, you're looking for just a little more control as you push up the field. More cohesion will be required, as it would seem, as Complexity's now saying, look, you got to come beat us. Hard bounce into the middle, and no one there for Complexity. Gyro uncontested clear. We'll let Koi off the hook for now. Koi now sizing up this Complexity defense. Not too many options just yet. Aqua just trying to keep it in the mix. Raise Bull uncontested now. Out the seam for CRR. Knight cuts it down. Unfortunately, Aqua ends up still driving it towards that corner. But now it feels like Koi's starting to get a little bit more forward. Now they're starting to press with the play instead of having to chase it down from the deep backfield, and could bode well, but only 90 seconds left. It feels like, do they have the time to really get enough rotations through that Complexity defense or enough different looks to eventually break them down?
Like you said, plenty of time though. Only a 1-goal difference, and for Koi, they've really had at times a snake bite offense. It just comes out of nowhere and grabs on. Complexity though doing a good job of just keeping control, taking challenges on the sideline. They're not trying to overcommit. The opportunity is there, you take a shot. And now you have follow-up from Raise Bull. A demo comes out from AJG as well, and you can see Koi very slow to hold on to this one, and it's not looking very threatening as CRR takes his time trying to get a dunk. This one just goes wide.
There's that snake bite.
Was that in? Out. My goodness, it goes high.
Oh no. Okay, Raise Bull's deep back. I was like, hang on. We started to see the pieces come together there for Koi. They maybe had the demo opportunity, but they just missed it. Almost gave it back the other way, and then all of a sudden it felt like still that physicality was there on that Complexity side. So Koi, you weren't kidding. Snakebite offense, it don't take too much, just a little bit.
And that time is a factor. A minute and a half, we were talking earlier. Now you're down to 20 seconds. You need to press, and they're not holding on to the ball. AJG doing the smart thing, getting extra touches.
What?
It's given to him for free, and the dagger here in Game 5 is a confusing one.
Big misunderstanding here from Koi. I mean, Aqua and Gyro, I think they were both going for that boost, and neither of them thought that it was their responsibility to go and get that touch, and they both realized, hang on a second, one of us has to hit this.
Shame for Koi, and for Complexity a gift. And they're going to put Koi on match point. Very well-earned win here from Complexity. They controlled a lot of this game. They got their 1-goal lead and then just prevented Koi all the way through. There were some opportunities for Koi, but Complexity did a great job of managing this game. And again, kind of the expectation.
See it in the shots. Goodness gracious.
One shot for Koi. A singular shot came from Knight, Aqua, and Gyro. Donuts.
It's a tough day for Koi, and I think that this particular game may be the most incriminating one, you know, if you're looking at the issues with Koi, right? Because it's like, this was only a 1-goal game. And, you know, normally you feel like a team pretty much always has an opportunity in a 1-goal game. And it's not to say that they didn't. Like, they had that really strong transition there with, like 30, 40 seconds left or around that time. And unfortunately, they just couldn't get the pieces to stick together, right? I don't think they actually registered a shot on that transition even, but that was the one that was probably the most dangerous throughout the whole course. And if you're playing a 1-goal game like that and you're kept to one shot and complexity is kind of just like, we've got the boost. We realize that we feel pretty comfortable kind of just camping out here because we think we're better than you. And we think that you guys just don't have the ability to come and take us through the paces on defense and break us down in a way that we at least can't handle for enough time that we're just going to win the war of attrition, right? And you kind of saw exactly that happen as they got to 20 seconds. They just missed the ball, and Complexity goes and scores a second one. So I'm like, if you can do that in a 1-0 game, if you're Complexity, why not just do the same thing? And they don't even have to. CRR capitalizing off the midair demo from Razebull and the pass.
Yeah, great touch here from Razebull, and the demo frees up the space for this one to drop to CRR. It'll slot it by the defense. Complexity again out to a 1-goal lead early. And they've been able, for the most part, to hang on to these. Let's see what Koi has in store for us.
I think you get the watch, rinse, repeat here if you're Complexity. I think you camp out now. You just make sure that you've got, 40, 50 boost at all times, pretty much. And you say, okay, come beat us. And you put all that pressure on Koi and say, someone's got to make a play.
Koi's made some plays. I mean, let's be honest.
They have, yes. I'm not saying that they can't, but I think like early on in the series, like Complexity's not sure if they need to, push and try and extend a lead, right? Because like generally, I don't think any team feels safe in a 1-goal lead, right?
Sure.
And early on in the series, Complexity I think is trying to say, let's go fight for the ball, and then in that game 4, they were just like, we've already got the lead, let's make them beat us. And I think that game 4 was really where it's just like, okay, now you got to go do the same thing, Koi. Come and make something happen. Which is, it's not a bad question to ask, right?
Well, and it's, from what we saw in the last game, there is an indictment to be had about how they were able to, or I should say the lack of shots generated.
Or you can mistouch the ball.
Okay. All right.
Well, now it doesn't matter. Whoops.
Oh, my. Razebull and CRR, what was going on there? And Koi will take it. I mean, hey, when we have these issues, or when, the other team makes a mistake like this, you have to capitalize. So this is what we were talking about earlier. When it's that blatant, you certainly will. Yeah, you better not miss.
You'll take that. Now it doesn't matter. Now you don't have to go and beat them. Complexity should beat themselves right there. So Koi get back into the mix of things. All bets are off now. 3 minutes left. See if they can... First things first, let's get out of our own half, and Aqua will do just that with a solid clear down the pitch.
Pretty rare from Complexity. Just thinking about that last play.
Yeah, just straight misplay.
You don't see that one often, and I can't really think of Complexity being a team that's having blatant double commits like that and not coming out with the touch. It's different when you come out with the touch that you intended. Yeah. That's pretty rare from Complexity. You don't see it that often. They're pretty disciplined in I would say, in most regards here when we talk about aerials and, who goes for what. They're pretty disciplined.
Trying to put that on display. AJG not quite able to convert the double tap opportunity. Aqua getting out in front of the ball, so Knight kind of a bit awkward, and here's where you start to think and wonder about that placement because Razebull comes through and eats it up.
Disaster. You leave the space open.
So much.
Great touch from CRR, and I mean, the shot placement by Razebull, hats off. I mean, what do you want from a defender there? Across the net.
Yeah.
To the other corner at that pace that pass came from. I mean, that's tough to do.
Gyro was staring that one down. Like, this could literally go anywhere. And I don't know if he was saving it regardless of where it went. So much of the net to cover there. Just couldn't piece it together. Excellent shooting from Complexity. 2 minutes remaining. Koi getting backed up onto their own half again. Gyro trying to force a clear down the middle of the pitch.
No one there. Seen that a couple times from Koi. Trying to set something up. And there's just no one there in the midfield. They're either too far up or too far back. People don't have boost. Now the pinch will come out from Koi. Wonderfully executed and an equalizer found.
That doesn't feel like a bad clear. It's the gyro demo in the backfield. It puts Razebull out in no man's land. And so Razebull, here's his teammate behind him say, I just got demoed. So now he just has to go and make this really awkward challenge. So Gyro getting way in front of the play. Caution to the winds, saying my team will come up with the play. Goes and opens up the space, and Koi executes on it.
Kind of awkward here for Koi off their back wall. Complexity trying to punish, but Koi have clawed their way into this one. You were saying it was going to be rinse repeat for Complexity, and it was looking that way until the disaster. And now here comes Aqua.
No.
CRR, he's like, he's too low. He's not going to get there in time, and Aqua going to put Koi in the lead.
I think CRR flubbed his transition here. No, he just couldn't. Why did he rotate his car down? What did he think Aqua was doing there? He had plenty of boost.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Over 60, probably 70 before I got to him.
It's like I thought maybe he messed up a half lip or something, but no, he was just tracking straight back, didn't get bumped, just turned his car upside down and backflipped into the lower corner for some strange reason. That one I cannot fathom, but it doesn't matter. He gets it right back. Complexity tie it back up. The ensuing kickoff not going Koi's way.
A lot of these, in this game in particular, Game 6, feels like Complexity, they've had a ton of space to take shots like this. You go back to the Razebull shot with the pass from CRR. This one is basically the same setup. And for Complexity, they make it look easy when they execute in that fashion.
So another shootout here in Game 6. Complexity trying to put it down. 41 seconds left. Again, it's Gyro one-on-one on the goal line, and there's just too much to cover.
CRR is just dishing it out to his teammates too now that have just been buttered straight through the Koi defense and beautifully laid out in front for his teammates to put it away. And a 1-goal lead now for Complexity. Can they hang on? Does Koi have one more in them?
Talk about generating high quality chances.
Yep.
Complexity's got so many good looks where it's just put the defender in such a bad position. It's not like the defender is in a bad position. It's just in that exact situation. There's not a whole lot you can do except hope. And Complexity, more than a few times, has got that ball in that spot, and they have executed just about every single time. As AJG trying to waste the last few seconds off the clock. Knight misses. That means CRR will come and drive it home. 5-3 will be the final score. Well, Koi, you gave it an honest go. But unfortunately, you can't hang with the top dogs from South America.
This is a tough one to lose for Koi. Because I'll say it, I think they probably could have beaten Complexity here. I really do. I don't know if Complexity expected this from Koi, just knowing how Koi have been playing. And even Razebull in the chat said, GG's, you guys are so good. I mean, I don't think Complexity expected this. This was a very high quality series from Koi. It wasn't perfect. Mistakes came out. Don't get me wrong. But
they start refining that offense though.
Yeah.
And Koi's gonna
it was winnable. It was winnable.
It felt winnable at times, for sure. I'm with you. Complexity. You got what you were expecting from them, I think. Plenty of aggression, decent mechanics, and more importantly, the solid dishes into the midfield that they really did a great job of converting. And Koi showed us that, you know what? They've got the pieces. Just needs a little more time to develop, and things will look great.
Yeah, we'll see how Koi develop as they keep going. This was a great result for them overall, and Complexity coming out on top into a semifinal achieved.
Yes, into the semifinals against Gen G Mobile Racing. And when we come back, we will continue with our quarterfinal matchups here in the NA Cup. It will be FaZe Clan versus G2 up next. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay with us. Or G2 versus Spacestation. My mistake. There we go. Or Gen G versus M80. I don't know. It's somebody. We'll see you.